What's going on, guys? Emmanuel Jones here, and we back at it here with another week. And we're gonna do our week 13 recap of this week. We're gonna go over our reactions. We're gonna go through a lot of topics. We're gonna discuss some topics. So before I get to my week 13 recap for this week, don't forget to put a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to my channel for more options, and comment down your opinion below and see what you think about all around reactions. So let's get started here. So the first topic I want to talk about is the Bears fire Eberflus. Now the Bears did fire Eberflus. Now I want to go through some things on why they fired him. Now, first of all, the reason why they fired Eberflus because here's the thing. Now Eberflus was totally having trouble with clock management at the end of the game. Caleb ends up getting sacked on second down, and then got towards third and long, where Eberflus forgot to call a timeout. Which that's totally bad coaching from the Bears, which it was, because the Bears were in position to win the game, but all came down to the play calling and all that, and it came down to the offense not moving the ball. So that was terrible for the team. So yeah. Now Caleb did have some nice throws at the end of the game, which that was pretty good. So yeah, and all of a sudden, the Bears, the Bears are just a joke. And as far as I'm concerned, their playoff hopes could totally be ruined though, and they're damaged now because they're on a losing streak right now. And how the way they've been losing has been very terrible for this team. Now I would like to say that they are slumping a little bit, which they are. So yeah. So far as I know, the Bears, could be looking to play for next year, and this team's totally not going nowhere right now. Especially how tough the schedule is, because I have to play the 49ers this week, which they have been falling apart, and they got to play against playoff teams like the Lions again. They got to play the Vikings again, and they got to play, I think, the Seahawks. So that's a tough schedule. So yeah, so the Bears, I'm looking forward to his interim head coach. We'll see what he could do. So yeah. All right, then next topic, I want to talk about the Dolphins versus Packers. That game was totally it wasn't really great because the Packers nearly won by 2 scores. Now the Packers offensively really moved the ball really well. I thought they ran the ball better than the Dolphins, and I thought their defense played better than the Dolphins, but it wasn't quite great because Tua did not have a good first half, and all of a sudden he had a good second half where he had 365 passing yards for 2 touchdowns, and he literally outplayed Jordan Love. He did. He made some big time throws, and the Dolphins couldn't really run the ball. Now I like to say about their defense though, they've been a little up and down, but I don't think it's as good as the Packers. I thought the Packers stopped the run better. I thought they were more balanced on offense, and at the same time, um, Jordan Love made some nice throws. Now it was cold, and Tua did struggle in the cold. And I've been saying Dolphins aren't used to the cold weather, especially when they played in negative weather against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's when they really struggled in the cold. So yeah, so basically, as far as I'm concerned about the Dolphins are the Dolphins stink. And all of a sudden, as I look at their schedule, it's pretty difficult because they have to play the Texans and the Niners. Now, the Niners could totally make some noise in the mid playoffs, and the Texans could too. They have to play the Browns, the Jets twice. They even got to play, and and that's pretty much about it. So basically, the schedule is difficult for the Dolphins. So I don't think it's that. If you look at their schedule, it's not even difficult though, because they have a chance they can still make the playoffs though, which I don't know if they will though, because they the only way they're going to make the playoffs is that Miami's gonna have to at least like win out to get in. Because if they don't win out, then they're probably not gonna get in. So yeah. As I know, the Packers are still a contender and they're still one of the best. So yeah. Next topic I want to talk about is the Chiefs barely beat the Raiders. Now the Chiefs barely did beat the Raiders. This is how I see how the Chiefs barely beat them. Now the Chiefs, they were totally having a lead early. They were up 10-3, and all of a sudden they almost blew the game. Now they almost blew the game. Here's how they blew the game. Now, they blew the game because here's why. Now, they almost blew the game because here's the thing. Their defense was totally getting shredded a little bit. Like, Aiden O'Connell was throwing lasers out there, and late in that game, he outplayed Patrick Mahomes. Like he did. Like, the Raiders passed the ball better. They ran the ball better than the Chiefs. And their defense played really good at kind of end the game, but it's just that their offense kind of blew it, though, which the Raiders could have at least won. But it all came down to maybe a late fumble on the last drive, and the Chiefs recovered. I mean, the Chiefs, their offense is it's totally average in my opinion. Like, their offense is not really doing enough to score a lot of points. Like, it's just a 3-and-out, and then all of a sudden, they just take too many penalties where it hinders their drives. The Raiders, you might as well give the Chiefs credit for the win. You might as well give the Raiders, you could give them a little bit of credit, but I wouldn't give them a lot of credit because of how the way they played on offense. I mean, the Chiefs defense, what are you doing? How you get shredded by the Raiders, though? How? Like, you're literally just gonna kicking field goals and not just score a touchdown? That's just crazy. Like the Chiefs defense, it's totally starting to get bad right now because they're letting teams hang around. They're letting guys a little bit wide open. Like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, the Chiefs defense is ranked as the best in the league, and all of a sudden, your defense continues to get shredded. Like, what's going on? Like, the Chiefs were just up 6. They were up 10-3, and they're up 16-10. All of a sudden, the Raiders just scored a touchdown. Like, come on now. Gotta be kidding me. I don't even know about the Chiefs. Like, they can't even cover a big spread against the Raiders. Which that was a good improvement, which it was. That was a good improvement. So, yeah. So, I don't know if the Chiefs can still be trusted on the point spread against other teams. Because they still have a chance to clinch a 1 seed. But even if they did not, I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked. So, yeah. Now, next topic I want to talk about what's wrong with the Falcons. Now, there's something wrong with the Falcons. Now, here's the problem with the Falcons. Now, here's the problem with Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Falcons, the Falcons were on a 3-game losing streak. That's what's wrong with them. Kirk Cousins has been struggling. The offense has totally not looked pretty good. Now, I liked how the way they ran the ball on Sunday against the Chargers. They ran the ball better than the Chargers. They passed the ball better than the Chargers. But Kirk Cousins had 4 interceptions, which that was kind of terrible. He kind of lost the Chargers that game. The defense has totally not been great. Now you could argue saying their defense played really good in this game, where they stopped the pass better, they stopped the run because the Chargers didn't have a run game because because their running back got hurt. So I mean, we've seen that the Falcons, have their defense give up big plays at times. We've seen where their defense gets shredded. Like they'll get up big plays here and there. I mean, their defense can't stop the run, but I mean the offense just needs to play better. I mean their offense is not playing at a higher level. I mean they're totally falling apart. And now there's rumors saying that they could bench Kirk Cousins because how bad he's been playing. They could totally move into Michael Penix, which I would not be surprised if they did. I think Michael Penix, could totally make something happen, but I don't know if he will. And I don't know if he's going to be any good. So as I look at for this, I would give Kirk Cousins one more shot at the starting quarterback, and then maybe pass it on to Michael Penix. But the defense got to start doing better, doing takeaways because right now their defense is just bad right now. So yeah. So as far as I know, the Falcons, they're sitting at 6-6 right now, and they still have a chance to win the division though. And the Bucks, and we're gonna see what they can do because they swept with the Bucks, and the Bucks is 6-6. Because I feel like if the Falcons lose out and the Bucks win out, then the Falcons are gonna be out of the playoffs, and the Bucks win the division. But if I feel like if Atlanta, tries to win out and then the Bucks lose out a little, I think the Falcons win the division. But I don't really know. We're probably going to see about that. So that's what's wrong with the Falcons. So, yeah. Now, next time I want to talk about is the Bengals defense. I want to talk about the Bengals defense because as far as I'm concerned, the Bengals defense is going to cost them. Now, here's why. Now, their offense did have a good game against the Steelers in the first half, and in the second half, they were a little sloppy a little bit. But on the other hand, the Bengals defense, what are you doing? Like the offense is going off doing something, and now the defense, right now is getting pushed around. I mean, think about this. The Bengals defense, like Russell Wilson has one of the best games of his career. Um 414 passing yards through 4 touchdown passes. Um the Bengals defense was totally getting shredded in that game. Like, what are the Bengals doing? How do you defense get shredded? I mean, that's was totally what I went wrong. I didn't even expect Russell Wilson to shred the freaking Bengals. But all of a sudden he did. Like, Russell Wilson was throwing lasers out there. Like he was. Like, basically all game, Russell Wilson outplayed Joe Burrow. He did. He looks better than Joe Burrow because basically he was throwing lasers. Guys were getting open. Like, the Bengals defense is costing them. Like, why are the Bengals defense playing soft again? Like, Big Lou needs to get back to the drawing board because right now his defense stinks. He's calling different blitzes. Like, he don't even know what he's doing out there. You might as well give the Steelers offense credit. You might as well give Russ credit, give Arthur Smith credit because the offense as a whole is playing really good right now. the defense of Pittsburgh did play really well. They forced turnovers. The Bengals did force a turnover early in that game, but they also had turnovers, in the third quarter, which it almost cost them. Which the Bengals have totally have lost game by one score a little bit. They could have at least beaten the Steelers, but it probably wasn't the case though. Like the Bengals don't even know what they're doing though. Their defense has to play better though. Like they have to. The offense as a whole is playing better. Joe Burrow starting to ball out. I mean, the defense needs to start playing better. Like it has to though, because right now the defense isn't playing as good as it's supposed to be. Like it has to play better. Because I don't even know if the Bengals going to even make the playoffs this year. Because this team's a joke. Because their schedule is tough right now. They have to play the Broncos in a couple weeks. Now they play the Cowboys, Titans, and Browns next, which that could be that's easy games. And they got to play the Steelers again. Now next time when they got to play against the Steelers team is going to be on the road because they played them at home and they lost that game. But I have a feeling that the Bengals, I thought there's a chance that they could turn their season around, but I don't know if I see it though. But I want to see this team finish above 500, but I highly doubt it. But as far as I'm concerned, the Bengals stink, and they still can't be trusted on the point spread. And all of a sudden, it's getting bad for Cincinnati, especially with the team that has playoff hosts. I'm not going to be picking the Bengals anytime soon to cover the spread whenever they play against a decent team because at the same time, I can't trust that defense. Like, I just can't. Shopping? Like, I can't trust that defense. Like, the defense is starting to get bad. Like, I'm pretty much done with this team. Like, I just can't with Cincinnati. This team's a joke. All right, next team I want to talk about is the Ravens being frauds. Now, as I know that the Ravens are frauds after, they lost to the Eagles. Like, basically, the Ravens, did not look pretty on offense. Now, their special teams had totally let them down in the game due to their kicker missing field goals. Because basically, their offense nearly did nothing in the first half. Like, it was just sloppy. Like, the Ravens defense kind of played good to keep them in the game. But their defense nearly gave up a touchdown late in the fourth quarter. And all of a sudden, they score late in the fourth quarter. Like, it was like the game was over by then. Like, they could have just at least ran the clock, though. But all of a sudden, they kept calling timeouts. Now, you might as well give the Eagles credit. The Eagles defense is playing legitimate football. We're gonna talk about the Eagles in a second. I thought the Eagles ran the ball better. They threw the ball better a little bit, but I don't think they did. I think the Ravens kind of threw the ball a little bit better because Lamar Jackson was out playing Jalen Hurts like he did. And all of a sudden, the Ravens lose the game. Like, basically, the Ravens couldn't really run the ball. Now, I thought the Eagles ran the ball better. Defensively, they're good as a unit. The Ravens defense, they said that they ranked them as the worst pass defense in the NFL because basically they couldn't really stop the pass. But I feel like their pass defense is playing a little bit better, a little bit. You can say they are a little bit. Um, Yeah, so this team is just a fraud. Like, I still think they can win the division and they still have a chance to make the playoffs, but I don't know about clinching a 1 seed after that loss. But I feel like they have I feel like the Chiefs and Bills can get it. And even if the Steelers, they have to play they have to play against them in a couple weeks. So we're gonna see what happens against them as well. So basically, far as I'm concerned, the Ravens, they're just not. I mean, they're this team is just a fraud. Like they are. Like this team can't even start the season. This team can't even have 2, 3 losses or either one. Like, what is this team doing? And that's my problem with the Ravens. I mean, they're such frauds. I mean, they are. Now, I want to talk about the Bills and Eagles are legit. Now, the Bills and Eagles are legit. Now, here's why. They're both one of the best teams in the league. Um, I want to talk about one side of the Buffalo Bills. The Bills, Josh Allen was going Superman in the snow on Sunday Night Football against the 49ers. He did. I mean, the Bills ran the ball better than the 49ers. Their offense passed the ball a little bit better against the 49ers. Their defense played better against the Niners. The defense, I mean, the Bills, their O line looked better. Their D line looked better because they stopped the run better than the Niners did because the Bills were able to stop the run and they were able to stop the pass. That was their best game. You might as well give Sean McDermott and coaching staff credit. I like how the way they're doing offensively and defensively as well. So yeah, I mean the Bills look like a dark horse contender in this team. I hope they can get Keon Coleman and Dalton Kincaid back. I felt the offense could be totally be fun. Um, you know, yeah, and bringing back Matt Milano's huge for that defense. So yeah, I mean this Bills team, they're ready to roll and they're ready to go on a run. This team can totally make the playoffs this year. Win the Super Bowl this year after clinching their division. Now on the other side, I want to talk about Philly. Now Philly it looks like a dark horse contender because look at the Eagles right now. The Eagles are red hot. They're playing at a higher level. I like how the way they're playing on defense, and especially on offense as well. Offensively, they run the ball. They have the best run game. They need to start passing the ball a little bit better because Jalen Hurts all he's doing is run around. He's missing guys. Um, the defense is playing really good. I like how the way the defense is playing. The defense, they're stopping the run. They're stopping the pass. Their defense is ranked first in the league. I mean, they pretty much are. I like how the way they are playing as a defensive unit. They're not giving up big plays. They're not allowing you to run them over. So yeah, I mean, this Eagles defense is legit, and his offense is legit as well. And Vic Fangio's doing a really good job of the defense, and Kellen Moore's doing a good job on offense, calling the right plays. So I like how the way the Eagles are doing. Now, could the Eagles win a Super Bowl? Maybe, I don't know, but we'll probably see. I think Philly, can find a way to they'll find a way to go on the run. So yeah, I mean they're always seem like they're close to clinch the division. So yeah. So both these two teams are legit. Now, the next topic I want to talk about are the 49ers done? Well, let's think about it. Now, the 49ers lost 3 straight games. They lost to the Bills really bad. They lost to the Packers really bad. And they also lost to the Seahawks in heartbreaking fashion. So basically, they're sitting at 5-7. And this team looking like their playoff hopes could be damaged. Um, the Niners, the Niners have totally not been looking good. Um, They've blown three fourth quarter leagues. Like, this was totally not looking good for San Francisco. Like, it has not been. I mean, Brock Purdy, he's playing okay, but he has Brett Favre moments. He could be struggling right now. The defense is totally struggling a little bit. The offense is totally struggling a little bit. I mean, their run game has been a little bit inconsistent since CMC came back. But you know what? Now he got injured Sunday, and now he's placed on IR along with Jordan Mason, which that sucks. I mean, injuries really killing this team. They have so many injuries on defense who they're missing, and one of them's out for the year. One of them is not activated off the reserve, and two players did not play for and some of their players didn't play for like the last two games due to injury. And then their left tackle didn't play for the last two games. So their offensive line has totally been an issue since Trent Williams has been out, and their defense has totally been an issue since Nick Bosa has been out. I hope the Niners can get a little bit healthier on defense so that way they can win some more football games, and I hope their left tackle can come back soon. But I expect some of these players to come back sooner than later. Like, I don't expect them to be ruled out for like the rest of the year. So yeah. So basically, this team right now is totally on the downfall a little bit. This team totally could miss the playoffs this year. Because look at their schedule. They have to play the Cardinals, the Rams, the Dolphins. They even got to play the Lions. And they got to play the Bears on Sunday. Like, this is a tough schedule. Now, the Niners could totally go on a run for the playoffs, though, but I don't know if I can really see it. But I have a feeling that the Niners really need to do something. I feel like they need a win to get back to the postseason. I feel like they need to. I feel like it's time for the Niners to at least win right now, which it is. Because the Niners are totally not looking good on offensively and defensively. Like, they're struggling right now. I mean, their run game is struggling a little bit. And even since CMC was out, I mean, they was able to run the ball a lot better. But the coaching in the offense, they just need to play better as a unit. Like, they do. They need to start playing better in fourth quarter, like executing, creating play action, doing some screen passes, set up big passes back and forth. Run the ball multiple times as you can. And defensively, get as multiple stops as you can. So, yeah. So, as far as I'm concerned, the Niners, I don't think they're done. They're sitting at 5-7. Their playoff hope's still alive. The NFC West is wide open because anybody can win it. So, yeah. So, by the way, I have a feeling that, the Niners, I don't think they're done yet. They have long ways to go. And I want to see this team finish above 500, but I highly doubt that they will. And I want to see them win Division 2, but I highly doubt it. So we're going to see what happens, though. And then finally, last talk we want to talk about is the Browns versus the Broncos game. Obviously, this game was kind of fun to watch. Now, Jameis Winston has one of the best games of his career. 497 passing yards, 3 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions. Like that was insane. Like, Jameis Winston was balling out. He looked better than Bo Nix. Now, Bo Nix did have some nice throws. The offense as a unit for the Broncos did play better. Now, I like how the way offensively, I think they're moving the ball very well. They're running the ball. Defense was playing excellent, getting turnovers there. Jameis Winston kind of blew the game. Now, the Browns defense did kept them in the game a little bit, but I don't think it was on the defense. It was on him because Jameis Winston threw a pick six early in the game, and then he threw another one like late in the fourth quarter, which that was terrible. Now, Jameis Winston did lost him the game. You might as well say you can blame, Kevin Stefanski for the one-dimensional play calling, but yeah, such and that. I mean, Jameis Winston, deserved that, and all of a sudden, Bo Nix deserved to win. So basically, that game was kind of fun to watch. I thought the Browns could have at least won. I mean, they could have did because the Broncos defense getting ripped up where Jameis Winston was making some stupid plays. which he did. Now, it's hard to say who ran the ball better, but as I look at it from a standpoint, I have a feeling the Broncos ran the ball better than the Browns. Like, the Browns couldn't really run the ball okay. And, the Broncos defense had more sacks than the Browns because the Browns defense didn't really get pressure. So, yeah. So, that game was fun to watch. So, I don't know about the Browns making the playoffs, though, because they're 3-9 right now. It could be too late to make changes right now. But I don't know because there's a chance that they could make the playoffs, though. But they just got to have to win out and let the Colts or Dolphins lose and Ravens lose out a little bit. But I don't see it happening, though, because I feel like the Broncos have more to play for because they have a chance to clinch a playoff spot. And their schedule, they have pretty much more easier schedule right now because they have a bye week coming up and they got to play against the Colts, the Chargers. They got to play against the Bengals. They have to play against the Raiders, the Chiefs. Like, this is an easy schedule for Denver. I mean, this team can totally go on the run. So I like Denver this year. I feel like they're looking to clinch a playoff spot for the first time since 2015. I feel like Cleveland Browns will be playing for next year. So, as I said, that was an awesome game. Well, those are all my Week 13 reactions for this week. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to put a thumb to like and subscribe to my channel, and you can like the video. And if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments section below what you guys think. Well, this is Emmanuel Jones, a big fan. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace. Hope this works.